What is going on, Roland Empire here, guys, to give you a video. The Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 8, or Chapter 16, The Rescue, is finally out. It's finally hit Disney+. Plus. You know, our version, with the way it is now, our version, this has hit theaters. This is now the commission we've been waiting for. 8 episodes, 2 seasons, the Star Wars that we're getting for recent content. And, you know, all leading up to this, especially how Rick Famuyiwa's episode ended, where Din really wants Moff, you know, returns the line, he gives him the line, and now he wants to get, you know, essentially it's his child. It's his child. He's the father. Okay, he is the father now, and he wants to go get him. You know, and now this one now is directed by Peyton Reed. Interesting because he directed The Passenger, and now he's directing The Rescue. So that's an interesting take of how we get like people to, you know, work in these kinds of episodes. And in this one now, you know, it's all good now. Now Boba and Mando go out to Bo-Katan, and if you realize with some of the way they do recaps, they're like, oh, this person might come back on, oh, maybe spoilers on this, and that's the case with her. So they go talk to her a bit. They have this little nice Western vibe, kind of echoes a bit of his intro in the very first season. So I felt like with this last episode in the second season, I felt that very interesting. But it's nice between the banter of all four essentially Mandalorians. You get a little bit with Sasha and Tamara fighting a bit, and then after that, Bo-Katan and Mando explain what the situation is. They're like, you're not gonna fight him. I have his tracks. And again, because I guess this line works, they have the kid, so that's a way that you be like, you know, you SOB, I am in. If you know that reference, you know that reference. But yes, USOB I am in. And they kind of just talk a bit about what goes on. And it's interesting to know that, you know, what their culture is, that, you know, if they would have teamed up better, their culture could have been more safe. So it's nice introduction, nice kind of still rightful exposition to kind of lead more to stuff. Then after that, you know, which after an amazing intro with the way it was interesting these two officers played, but I like the way they were playing to Cara Dune's strengths, so they work for their purpose. But after that, Mando and everybody capture that doctor, so they're back with the doctor. The doctor now is giving more exposition of where are the dark troopers, and then Yoda where he's captured, and then after that, you know, they all try to do teams. Mando's like he's gonna go alone, so they strategize a bit of how they're gonna do, you know, how they're gonna break into the ship and all that. And then, you know, it's just through all that they give out more of what goes on into the Star Wars lore. So it's nice to know like how the Star Wars lore was playing. Like, you know, it even gives them how like the Dark Troopers, what kind of generation these Dark Troopers are. So I know there's fans out there that are enjoying that kind of stuff. But yes, Mando's kind of realizing that, you know, this, you know, this is going to be an interesting take, the way they just deliver everything. And it's nice because then after that, you know, Boba Fett does a fake pursuit to the ship where the rest of the crew's at. So it's a nice little action sequence. A lot of the action sequences and the way everything was filmed really felt almost like a movie. This was like, you can tell this was the final episode, so they made it look as much as they could as a movie. So I just really respect and adore that kind of, you know, that filmmaking process. So they're, you know, doing the pursuits, and then Moff and everybody's kind of listening to it. It feels very intense, and it feels very stylized, really nice way it was all structured with their like, should we trust him? Should we not trust him? I felt like that. I felt like that as an audience. And then after that, they're like, you know, we still haven't given you proof. I don't care. We're getting chased. But it felt really believable. It felt really nice. It was a nice, interesting, new kind of sort of new way to how to get into the ship. And then after that, you know, just Boba leaves, and then the whole crew just goes in, and then Moff, being Moff who he is, Giancarlo Esposito, come on, he's like, release the troopers, and everybody just stormtroopers and all that just start assembling. But you know, the heroes that the heroes do. You know, you get a nice little set piece led by Bo and Cara, just everybody shooting down these stormtroopers and all, and it's just basically making way for Mando, so Mando can kind of lurk in, you know, quietly and try to find, you know, Grogu. And then after that, he stumbles through, you know, the troopers, and then one of the troopers escapes. And it's a nice way everything was presented, how you know, how shows how strong they are. And for a few seconds, it's like, man, he really throws down, and it's really violent, and you really feel it, but it works because you want him to, you want to root for your hero. You got to give him some adversity. So I really felt it, and I'm glad, you know, it's the show that it is. I'm glad he got through the adversity, but it was interesting. I was like, dang, the hits, even though it's Beskar, the hits that he was taking, it was so intense. It's just like you could really feel it. And then after that, you know, after that, then just like he finally just he goes through it and all, and then, you know, he finally gets him, and then after that he tries to get the rest, and he presses the thing so they can just all go. Right then and there, you think, oh man, that was it. It was a bit of a lackluster. I thought we were gonna see more from the troopers, but wait, there is gonna be more. So then after that, you know, he finally goes and looks for the room that Grogu's at. And I kind of suspected with the way everything is, but I was like, let's see. But then yes, Moff Gideon is in there waiting. He's like explains everything about the saber, and then realizing how the importance of Grogu is. So it's a nice way to realize what a lot of this is going on. And realistically, I like the conversation they had. Like, I just want the kid, and I felt like really Mando really was for the kid there, and it's an interesting way how Giancarlo delivers everything, knowing how he is as an actor. I felt it for a second when he's like, "Just take him, go then." But then a quick shot, and was like, knowing how the actor just plays everything, was like, yeah, he's gonna betray him. So he quickly hits him in the back, knowing that the thing doesn't take too much effect. Though he still tries to, you could feel Moff Gideon the intensity of just trying to crush and destroy this person, and then a quick battle ensues. Really good, right through the hallways and all. It felt very honorable and an honorable kind of fight kind of thing. So they're just going at it and all, and then you could just you see it, you feel the intensity, and the aggressiveness that is Star Wars. This felt very Star Wars scene, and there's a certain state because they each both want Grogu, so they're really pissed off at each other for Grogu, and all. So that is fair. There was a nice layer why they're even facing each other, and it's nice the whole Beskar, the the stick essentially, and then just the saber is wonderful. Curious to know if he lost on purpose because of what plays, but yes, after that, Mando basically beats him, and I'm like, oh, so this qualifies as him taking the Mandalore now. So it's interesting. I can't wait to see Bo's reaction after that. But he takes over after that and all, and then he takes him back to the main part of the ship, and then Bo kind of delivers a line at a certain point, but she really is asking what happened with the sword, and so there you go. Like, you realize it's like, this is awkward, because unless in a certain thing, you gotta battle it out. But I like how Mando is like, just take it. But this is what also Moff works. He wasn't just the main person to do a lot of the action sequence. He gets really cerebral with the people, and that's what I enjoy still seeing this character throughout. Even though I thought that's it, they finally beat him, but during that scene too, it showed there's more to the man. So he explains, you can't just take it because you want to. You got to win it. That's the power of the story that comes with the sword. So it's beautiful. This is a lot. This is a lot for a lot of Star Wars fans, that this is what they were, investing their time in. This is a nice investment for that. So that kind of thing really just pays off. And Mando just really wants to give it. And you feel like she wants to take it, but no, she rightfully has to earn it. But he's just wants to get that. He's like, I don't care about the sword. So I like how he's just like, yeah, it's like the sword is yours, but he accidentally purposely took it, so he takes the rightful throne until someone fights him. But then through all that, it's that kind of dialogue, and then realizing Moff that even though you guys think you won, this isn't gonna be it. And then like after that, you see the troopers come in, and you're like, oh damn, they're building up to this now. They're leading up, and then after that, he's like, this is programmed to go a few very ways, and it's gonna benefit me. So you feel the tensions are rising with the help of the music, the incredible music, and then just the direction of just then leading on to assembling. It looks like it's more than now originally intended, but they came back, so they're like, okay, so we're gonna still see more of them. And through all that, it's building and all, and you can really feel it. You want them to win, but they're like, how are they going to get out of the scenario? There's enough of people to wield to get out, but it's going to be very difficult. And then after that, you see an X-Wing go fly by, and Carol's like, oh, we're safe. Yeah, if you only knew. But at the time, though, I was like, okay, for a second, I was like, is this the guy that keeps appearing, the officer, throughout the whole season? What's he going to do? Then after that, you realize, wait a minute, they're not revealing who it is. I was like, is it Ahsoka? We didn't see in the recap, so it wasn't far out of the question. And then it just keeps going, and I'm like, okay, I think I know who it is, but I don't want to believe it. I'm gonna have to believe it. And you see the lightsaber ignite, and you're like, they could have still another one, so who knows? And it's through a lot of the security cam footage, so it's still interesting to realize. But then, you get the literal scene. It was like, you see the green lightsaber lit up. You're like, oh my God, they're really doing this? So Luke actually shows up. He's slashing out the troopers and all, like, whatever. Like, father like son. Again, like I mentioned, like, father like son. And just taking them all down. And the crew in there, like, Grogu's believing it. Didn't see what's going on. And then he's, they're realizing, they're like, oh my God, it's a Jedi. But there's still there's that unsecure, and there's still that hope at the same time. We know who he is, but they're knowing, man, who is this person? He's just taking people down. And the way the music just builds and going through different hallway scenes and all that, it's beautiful. Okay, I would have loved to seen also if they could have been Ezra or anybody. But like I said, I'm very appreciative of what was the choice, and I'm glad it was Luke. Okay, so he just takes everybody, oh my god, left and right, and throughout. Then he finally gets to the main part, and then they don't want to open, but Din has to trust. He's like, just open, and he comes in and he reveals, and it's it is him, the man, the myth, the legend, the freaking man, the myth, the legend. We're getting him now again in this time. Oh, it's so great to see, and then just realizing that they're here to get him. They did receive the call. R2 getting that little extra 2 return, that was nice. Seeing Grogu be kind of convinced with that too. So it was a nice way. It takes you a second and you realize, the agent is something. But at the moment, I still take it. I was like, that is him though. That is him. And it's a nice little interaction. And you realize, he wants to go, but they're saying we need your permission. So Grogu and Mando have this nice, heartwarming final send off, and you kind of expect, but you don't expect. He takes his mask off, so this is a nice way to do callbacks in a way of like poetry. It rhymes. If you know what that means, poetry, it rhymes. This was a nice way for Grogu and Mandu. So yeah, Grogu and Mandu just have a nice scene together, and just realizing they'll see each other again. They plan stuff for, like, this is a business and a business move. They plan stuff for shows, so who knows? We still leave it to interpretation still what could happen. But then everything just plays out nicely. They go back. R2 and Luke into the elevator, and that, for that sense, it's a nice way to see Luke at least one more time in that kind of way. And then Mando and the whole crew, they're all looking to. It's like, I thought after, if they could have shown more of an aftermath resolution, but with the way the shows are planned, there's still more that could go on. So in a way, I like that they had a clarity of what went on with the series, but they left it sort of ambitious. There was a nice balance between both. But then, yeah, just the scene goes on, and it's really intense, really emotional, all that, and then it just ends, and you're like, wow, this really felt very episodic. This is an episodic, like a film that this was leading to all this. But then there's still one more thing. Boba Fett does return, and it looks like it goes back to Tatooine. You get Bib Fortuna. Boba Fett has a little chip. He takes everybody out. He reclaims a certain throne. That's a nice way to show for him to kind of have some sort of redemption, a redemption of that scale. But then there's more. The Book of Boba Fett. I was like, what the heck is going on? The Book of Boba Fett, is that a book or a show? And I'm curious to know, how is this working? How does this work if it's Mando season 3, or if it's the Book of Boba Fett, or if it's both? I will take both. So I would like to know that kind of like circumstance of what goes on. But man, what an interesting show. The episode, I thought in a way could have been, I thought there was going to be more, but it was like, wait, we'll see. But then the way it does end in the second half, like, okay, this was well worth, because I thought it was like, oh, okay, that anticlimactic, but it wasn't as anticlimactic as I think they needed to add more. So it made sense for the 46 minutes. 46 minutes was enough. I wish I could have got more, but it was enough for what we got. And they used every minute that they could. It was a nice through act structure. I enjoyed this through act structure as well. And what are the odds with Peyton? Peyton directing now, also, again, one of the best ones of the series. It just shows, guys, that for a long planned layout of the whole story, we got to give this a chance. And as this season goes, you can't help to think, you think season 1 for help season 2 elevate where it is, but season 2 might be one of the best ones of the both. That's why. And you can argue 6 to 7 of the episodes really were good, and the whole season was good. All the episodes play out the way they do now, knowing what the circumstances are, and it's really just a really good time. It really felt like Star Wars, and there was fan service, but it added to the story. So this was a nice, fair balance. I had a good time with this. Really, it's just what it was needed, and there was so much going on, but it was still entertaining. It's still just one of the best things that has come out. Thanks to Filoni and Favreau, but the whole crew they assembled to. Good job to assembling everybody, from the music, the directions, the acting. It was all phenomenal. This is just one of the best things that's come out. And I could say I'm fanboy, but I'm not fanboy. I want to admit that this is good, and this hopefully just leads on to just great things. But this is one of the best things Star Wars has released lately. Let me know, guys, if you guys hated this. Let me know all this in the comments, so fairly. And if you loved it too, let's debate in a very friendly way, guys. These are my thoughts and opinions. I enjoyed this series. So let me know all this in the comments below. And as always, Rolling Empire, laugh, smile, repeat.